Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to feature court number 1. We are at Willard High School, and we've got our first of 2 boys 18U D1 Final 4 games. This one has the Indianapolis Wildcats, coached by Jeremy Bialek, taking on the Memphis Nighthawks, coached by Jason Williams. My name is Steve Larngent, joined by the man when we all grow up we want to be just like, Mr. Scott Staten. Hey, buddy.
Wait, I'm grown up. I need to get a copy of this. I need to have my wife and my parents watch this. Sometimes I get the question, what are you going to do when you grow up?
Yeah.
We'll take it.
My dad tells me growing old is mandatory, growing up is optional.
There you go.
There you go. We got a great one in front of us today. Again, these two teams playing for a chance to play tomorrow morning at Evangel University for the undisputed national championship. The Wildcats, boy, they've had a busy week to get here. We'll kind of walk through that. Memphis, this will be my first time to see them play, so I hear great things. But that man right there, number 33, is the one that they will have to contain. Miles Johnson has had quite a tournament. He's got some helpful teammates. He's got Luke Ruddle that kind of runs the show. You've got a host of players there. Mitchell Wirtz hit a couple of threes yesterday. They're just well balanced and got threats all over the floor.
Yeah, the Wildcats, they average almost 80 points a game, and you talked about a great tournament by Johnson. He's had a fantastic year. Over 23 points and 11 rebounds a game he's averaged. He was the conference and the regional player of the year. You're going to see why. And they were coming into this, one of the favorites to be able to make it to the undisputed game. Memphis Nighthawks, they're a little bit of a surprise. They didn't make a lot of noise in region, but they came here, won the 6A gold ball, and then beat HCYA yesterday.
Indianapolis will control the tap as we work toward a feverish finish here. This gym's going to heat up like a jalapeno as we go through 2 Final Fours and a girls 18 undisputed, which is coming up next.
Yeah, if you're tuning in and you're thinking we just started late because we were tired, game before this went into double overtime.
Johnson, we warned you. Deep 3. Gets the Wildcats on the board. Now we have full court pressure. He taps it out of bounds.
6'6" player of the year. Showing all that he's got all kinds of weapons. He can shoot from outside, he can power it inside, and we might even get to see some crazy dunks today.
Where he gets his hands involved, his feet involved, kicks that one out of bounds.
Nighthawks 23 and 15 on the year, Steve, but as I mentioned, a lot of times in tournaments, it doesn't matter what your record is or how good you are, it's how hot you are, and this team has been hot as a jalapeno, as you say.
Do we get credit for using that twice?
Setting some records here.
There you go. Nighthawks being patient. Molesky with the basketball there. Jared Vaughn, contact. We're going to have a pushing foul.
Wildcats foul on number 45, Mitchell Wirtz.
Mitchell Wirtz picks up his first.
Team's first.
Good job by Memphis to try to force some action. Get an early foul there on the Wildcats.
Up top to Luke Shoemaker.
Good decision not to touch that before it hit the timeline because his momentum would have probably carried him over.
3 ball, top of the key. Justin Morgan answers.
6'4" freshman, spot on from outside to tie this game up early.
That's the big man Mitchell Wirtz for the Trailblazers. He had a couple of threes yesterday. He's not afraid to shoot from out there. Steal by Jared Vaughn. Layup on the other end. And if you're the Trailblazers, you can't afford to give away possessions.
Yeah, that was caused by the double team down low on Johnson, and then he was able to jump in front of the passing lane.
3 ball. Off the mark for Roscoe. This Wildcat team not afraid to shoot the 3, but as soon as you start guarding that, they're going to dribble, drive, and get to the basket.
Nighthawks have some size. They can contend with Johnson in there. Several 6'4", 6'3", 6'5" players that they're going to throw at him multiple times today. And we saw them double team at the other end, and it resulted in a breakaway, and now on their own offensive set.
Johnson has just kind of hovered there in the paint, waiting for somebody to come through that he can defend. He's not really guarding anybody, just kind of hovering there in the middle. Got a Wildcat foul here. It's their second of the game.
Any foul on number 33, Miles Johnson is first.
Thank you, Colin Hill. Miles Johnson.
Good for Justin Morgan.
Yeah, if you recognize that PA voice, that's Our own Colin Hill will be coming up here a little later to help out with some of the broadcasts.
Yeah, he gets the other Final Four game. The Final Four between the Oklahoma Storm and the Illinois Crew. I haven't seen the Storm play yet. I'm looking forward to that one.
Boy, they came out yesterday. The Angels from Grand Rapids had a chance to hit free throws at the end of the game and beat them, and they missed the last two.
Pass goes out of bounds. Again, Wildcats giving away possessions here.
Yeah, you can't do that in these kind of games. Right now, I would say they were the favorite coming in, but doesn't look like it's phased the Nighthawks at all. They're playing their game, and as we mentioned, they're hot right now.
And they lead by 4, make it 6. As Garrett Vaughn picks up his 4th point of the game, 9-3.
Like the way that they're quick to drive.
Missed shot there. Justin Morgan, Molesky. 3-ball, top of the key, short.
A little bit short there. He was challenged at the last second. I don't think it was tipped, but he did see the defender closing out and might have affected his shot just a little on the elevation.
Miles Johnson hit a deep 3 for the Wildcats early, and they've been shut out since as we approach 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, quick start, but nothing since then. Indianapolis got to show something besides Johnson here, although he is a weapon.
Misses, tried to get his own rebound.
Great challenge by Vaughn on Memphis.
He leads him the other way. Floater in the lane, no. Rebound Ruddle to Johnson.
It's more the pace that you want to see from the Wildcats if you're one of their fans.
Johnson tried to do it all himself that time. Had a couple of guys open on the wing. Luke Molesky, shadowed by Jake Roscoe there. Missed shot, rebound.
The Molesky family has got the point guards. Had an older sister that played point, and then now his younger sister, a freshman on the team that will play next for the 18U Undisputed Girls title.
Noah Shook misses a 3.
Memphis has really controlled the pace of this game, and they've really, you can see why they've made a run in this tournament to get to this Final Four. Indianapolis has got to figure out that defense that they're going against and somehow get some stops here.
3-ball for Justin Morgan. Oh my. Oh my.
12-0 run, Steve, and that's a great way to answer when they go to their player of the year, the Wildcats. He answered first, but it's been nothing but Memphis since then.
Coach Bialek uses his first full timeout here in the first quarter, trailing by 9. This is the first time this will be the 3rd game that I've called for Indianapolis that they've trailed at this point in the ball game.
Yep.
The other 3 ball games, well, the first 2, they had a huge lead by this point in the first quarter. Yesterday, they had to kind of push back a little bit, but they were never behind or having to fight like they're having to fight right now. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond.
Right. They've not had to deal with that a whole lot. When you look down their bracket and see their path to get to this Final Four, it looks for the most part like it's been an easy path for them. And so you're right. This is where they test your mettle. With championship teams, you got to be able to respond to different game situations. And they're down now, almost double digits early in this game. Look for them to come up with an offensive set. Bialek has got to be looking for something besides just Johnson. Another steal.
Through the hands of Johnson. Vaughn picks it up. Can't get the layup. Gets his own rebound. Tries again. We got a foul. He'll shoot 2.
Vaughn and Morgan have really been clutch for the Hawks. That time came away with the steal, and Vaughn went in. Looked like he had after the pump fake. Johnson flew by. But then he short-armed it, but able to gather his own rebound and draw the foul on the Wildcats.
They shoot 2 here. Knocks the first one down.
They're also leading the foul category. Wildcats with 3 fouls. Nighthawks have been flawless to this point on the defensive end in terms of fouls, and so that could be another thing that comes into play as we see they're able to hit their free throws.
Hits the second one. Drew Kaiser and Jamison Stone have checked in for the Nighthawks.
Double-digit lead.
Have a foul on the floor. That will go against Jamison Stone, his first.
Number 3, Jamison Stone.
That is their first team foul.
Look for the Wildcats to attack, maybe go through Johnson, but doesn't always have to be him on the shot.
Speaking of, there he is. Can't get the floater to go. Gets his own rebound. Boy, He's been money around the basket.
He has.
The last couple days. Today, struggling to drop it in.
He is, and part of that, I mean, that could be some fatigue factor. We've talked about that in the earlier games. This is a week full of games for these guys, and it's just a little more than what you would in a tournament. Sometimes you'll play it 2 or 3 days in a row, but this has been a week. And as he sinks the free throw, Johnson going to be tested too. They're double teaming him. It looks like they're trying to lean on him a lot down low and get him tired.
Misses the second one. 10-point lead for the Memphis Nighthawks. So we close in on 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Memphis has been strong handling the ball. Not a lot of turnovers.
Morgan against Johnson. Faked the pass in. Tried to hit a cutting Kaiser. Miss him.
A little bit too strong, and there was Sutherland to pick it up for the Wildcats.
Here's where Luke Ruddle, I was just about to say, somebody like him needs to step up and make something happen here. He misses the three. Johnson gets the offensive rebound, fouled on the putback.
And that's what I was talking about, Steve, that Johnson's going to have his impact on the game. He's so just energetic on the rebounding, on the offensive glass. And that time he was set up because of the shot from outside, which, you know, Ruddle can hit those shots. But it's also nice to know that if you don't connect, you've got Johnson in there that's going to have a great shot to come down with the board and create his own opportunities.
Absolutely. One more for Miles Johnson. You say he's averaging how many points a game?
Averaging 23.1 and 11.4 rebounds.
Man. Look at you, Mr. Stat Guy.
Well, you know, I live in Indianapolis and been able to catch him a couple of times. And they're one of our teams that they keep everything updated on Max Preps, which you love when you do color commentary because you know a little more about them. And 36 games, he's just been dominant all season long.
Wow. Travel. Shoemaker thought he had somebody to pass to, and they were gone.
Yeah, I think that you credit that to Ruddle. Ruddle came flying down the court and right out of his line of sight, and when he came into his sight, it was a little too late, and he hesitated and dragged his foot.
Ruddle goes away from a screen by Wirtz. He'll get it back, popping up top. That's Sutherland. Right side, Wirtz. You don't leave him open. He'll hit a three from out there. Deep three for Ruddle. Off the mark. Rebound by Jared Vaughn. He's got 6 points.
And if you're the Wildcats, you can't let frustration cause bad shots, and that time just a little bit too deep.
Trying to do too much. Justin Morgan misses a three. Wirtz with the rebound.
Strong rebound by the 6'4", 17-year-old out of Indy.
Good action here. They try and go to Wirtz. Good defense by Justin Morgan.
It was, and it was a great dish by Ruddle. Ruddle, he can score. He's a double-digit scorer for the Wildcats, but he averages almost 8 assists a game. And so what you want to do is not just have shots from him from outside. It's kind of like what he's known for, but he's a great passer. Let him distribute, get the ball in his hands, and let him work some magic.
Rogers gave some quality minutes to Coach Bialek, and Johnson comes back in. First touch, gets 2 more.
Thought it was going to stop on the back of the rim and sit there for a while.
Time stood still there for just a moment.
Suddenly they've cut it in half, Steve. Let's see if they can get a stop now.
Morgan, 3 ball for Kaiser. Out of bounds, it'll stay with the Nighthawks.
That time Ruddle had a direct line to the rebound, but the defender, Shoemaker, stuck his hand out just enough to have Ruddle lose the ball out of bounds.
I've really come to appreciate the game that Ruddle plays, the way he leads this team.
Yeah, he's a heady player. He knows the game.
Well, he's a hustler. He gets on the floor. He does all the little things when he doesn't have the ball. He contributes in so many different ways. Going to have a foul. That'll send Jared Vaughn to the free throw line.
Yeah, and on that, you just want to play solid defense. No need to foul there because for that shot to go in, it was a circus shot. You just want to play solid defense, let him go through the lane there, not have anything easy, but unable to draw back and keep from making the foul there.
Miles Johnson picks up his second, so A.J. Rogers will come right back in. That's a big part of the storyline here early. We're not even out of the first quarter, and Johnson's got 2 fouls.
Yeah, that's going to change the game a little for the Wildcats.
Vaughn knocks that one down, 16-7. Rogers, clear path to the hole, switches hands.
Yeah, we were waiting for a call there. There had to be something because 2 bodies on the floor and everybody in the gym saw it, and the official waited to see if the ball went in, it seemed like. When it didn't, he called the block.
Jamison Stone, his second foul, team foul number 4.
2 shots.
So A.J. Rogers, you mentioned fatigue. I've kind of been watching the body language of some players out there, and clearly they are tired, which is normal at this point in the tournament. But they've got one more to go, they hope.
Yeah, and they've got one that'll be in less than 24 hours, and so it'll be a quick turnaround for these guys. But like I say all the time, teenagers are resilient. You can suck it up for about 3 hours and just be able to push through.
Rogers misses both, but they get another shot. Rogers to the hole, misses the layup.
Boy, he's coming off the bench and giving them some energy.
He was that way last night, too. Rogers fouled out. I think it was either late in the third or early in the fourth, and he had to come in, and he played with 3 fouls for much of the game. Under a minute to go here. Turnaround shot for Shoemaker. Won't fall. Nice rebound by Kaiser. Out of bounds. It'll go back to the Wildcats.
Kaiser, great read there on the shot. Could see that it was going to come off on the weak side and able to get position and grab that, and couldn't convert, but you like the action there for him on the rebounding.
Ruddle with 40 to play. Up top, Wirtz. Looking for somebody to hand to or a cutter. Noah Shook. Rogers. Roscoe. 25. Roscoe, step back.
Created some space.
Yes, he did.
Thought otherwise.
Probably wise. They want to get a good last shot here if they can. Kick out to Wirtz. Back to Ruddle. Dribble drive. Underneath pass to Rogers. And he's fouled. Will shoot 2 with 9.5 to go.
Great vision. Ruddle drove the lane there. He knew what he was doing as soon as he got the ball and able to scoop it underneath the defender and into the hands of Rogers. He'll be on the free throw line now to try to cut into this 9-point deficit.
Kaiser with 2 fouls. Jamison Stone with 2 as Rogers misses his 3rd in a row.
We saw that last game in the 14U Final Four. And again, you hate to quit talking about being tired, but tired legs can really affect free throws. You got to be able to bend a little more and give a little more oomph from.
There, Rogers gets that one to go down. 8 to play here in the first quarter. Got to get a shot up quick. Morgan. Shot won't go. 2, 1. Can Ruddle? Nope, he won't. So first quarter comes to a close. And the Nighthawks have a 16-8 lead. They've got the Wildcats doubled up. Quarter number 2 coming up from Feature Court 1 next on YouTube.
They will tell you, you're not tough enough.
Incredible, the fact that obviously, walking out of here.
You're not strong enough.
Says, let me have him. Whoa, no.
You can't get back up.
Yanni Rubens Barbosa.
You can't succeed. You can't win. You'll never ride the world's ranked sports. But I disagree. I'll tell you this. When you get back up, you will succeed. Yes, you can. Sim. Você pode. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Well, you're watching basketball, but if you watch the battle inside between Johnson and guys that are trying to match up with him, it's more like a rugby match under there.
I was just going to say the exact same thing. We are really in tune with each other today, Steve.
We're in sync, buddy. I'm telling you. Nighthawk basketball to start the second quarter. Steal by Shook. He's going to pull it out because he doesn't have numbers.
Good start for the Wildcats. Now they have to convert.
Ruddle to Johnson. Kick out 3 for Wirtz. I've been warning you. Here it comes. There it is. Mitchell Wirtz for 3. Cuts it to 5. Double team on the sideline. Good defensive pressure here by the Wildcats.
Yeah, that length from Johnson's really bothering the Memphis Nighthawks.
And we got a timeout by Coach Jason Williams.
Trying to save his team from a 10-second count there. They almost got it.
30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. 16-8.
30-second timeout, their first of the game. Again, if you're
Each team has used a timeout. Coach Bialik used a full when his team was trailing early, kind of settled things down. And this is where a team like the Wildcats, Scott, I think the maturity, they have, I don't know how many times they've been to the Final Four. I heard Coach talking to him last night. We haven't been here for a while. This is a special moment. Seize it, embrace it. But this team has really matured, gelled, come together for, I used the phrase last night, for a moment like this, a season like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Their shining moment, so to speak, with the March Madness. And you mentioned that last year, what's really fueled this team, they lost in their gold ball game. They were upset kind of by the tournament darlings out of Central Virginia. And they're used to getting deep into the tournament, and so this left them a little hungry, and I think that's where they're going to dig deep here, and that could pay dividends deeper into this game because they're starting to cut into that lead.
Hunger's a good thing. Nice hands by Shook. Intercept that pass intended for Caleb Nephew. Roscoe will check back in for Coach Bialik. Coach Bialik.
Yeah, Jeremy's a little bit of a gamble here. He put Johnson in with 2 fouls here early in the second quarter. Let's see if he can stay away from that third.
Jared Vaughn will launch the 3 over Johnson. Roscoe with the rebound ahead to Ruddle. Ruddle draws contact, block, and 1.
Gotta count it.
That's the first 2 points for Luke Ruddle. He needed something to get himself going.
Yep, Roscoe, great job getting the rebound and then kicking it out so that Ruddle could attack quickly.
20, Luke Ruddle. He'll shoot 1.
That will cut the lead to 3.
Wildcats always seem to have that one guard that just really understands the game and is able to be the distributor, but also has the ability to score. And Ruddle brings his team within 2 now.
I call him Captain Ruddle.
I like it.
Free throws, 4 of 9. The Wildcats thus far. They've gotten back to within 2. Out of bounds. They force the turnover. Chance to tie or take the lead here.
Looked like Shoemaker thought that he was going to have Molesky cut over to that open area of the court, and Molesky watched it sail out of bounds. I don't think he realized it was going to him.
Look for Johnson here to tie it up. I think he'll take it upon himself to tie things up or put him ahead.
Trying to find position.
Roscoe. And that's why I don't go to Vegas to make predictions. That one was wrong. Nighthawks trying to push the lead back up. Floater, no. Rebound Johnson.
Strong with
They've
the ball.
got numbers, 4 on 2. Straight to the hole, too hard. Ruddle with the follow. He's got 5.
Good things happen when you attack like that, and even though that wasn't a great shot, he could have used the backboard there. Ruddle was able to save that attempt and put it in off the glass to tie things up.
Well, we used the comment earlier. He does so many things to help you win. And not taking a play off, not laying back, but attacking the basket as his teammate was. That paid off. Sutherland will pick up his first. That is team foul number 6. So the Nighthawks will shoot 1-1 the rest of the way. I'm sorry, the Wildcats will shoot 1-1 the rest of the way. Shoemaker will get a rest. Luke Molesky will trigger the inbounds to Yates, who misses the chip shot there on the right side.
Tenacious attempts there. He was, Yates went down where the bigs normally are. Johnson wasn't in his face, but on the inbounds, he was open, established his presence on the block, went up, missed the first shot as he was challenged, but then battled back, grabbed his own rebound, and able to get to the free throw line.
First free throw is offline. Garrett Yates, first 2 free throws of this game. Shook back in. Ruddle will get a little bit of a breather here. Quick word with Coach Bialik before we get our second free throw. Yates eyes it. Off the rim. Johnson with the rebound.
Oh, he was up in the air on that one.
Yes, he was. To the left elbow. Spins. Underneath. Blocked by Yates. Good defensive play by Garrett.
The vision there by Johnson to be able to find his teammate under the basket even though it was blocked. That's a good find.
Shook, bring it back up toward the top. Wirtz will set a screen. Skip pass to Wirtz. Double team on the side. Drives through it. Kick out to Sutherland. Johnson's going to come get it. Nope, Wirtz will keep it.
Walked right through that double team.
Shook with 3.
I was wondering what we were going to hear from him. He's a double-digit scorer for the Wildcats and gives them the 3-point lead.
He finally gets going. 19-16. The Wildcats, after trailing, now lead by 3.
Great
5
run by Indy.
Nice cut through by Jared Vaughn in the lane. Tough shot, won't fall. Johnson secures the rebound as Vaughn tries to take it away. They're going to wrestle up the sideline or up the middle of the court. Johnson's shot won't go. Kick out for a 3 from Wirtz. A little too hard. Out of bounds. It'll stay with Indianapolis.
How did Johnson get up off the floor again to even attempt to get that rebound?
When you want it, you want it.
You know, he on that last possession by Memphis, just the fact that he was there, he caused Memphis to hesitate on their shot.
In and out. Misses his second 3 of the ball game. First shot for him was a deep 3, in case you're just joining us.
Nighthawks need to settle down, get back to what got them the lead. Don't have to have threes early in the game. Just establish your offensive flow and go back to some of your senior leaders.
I wasn't in the locker room, didn't hear any of the pregame talk, but I bet part of Coach Williams' discussion was let's get off to a fast start. Let's get out early, and they were able to do that.
Yes, they did. Wildcat faithful, they appreciate that defense they're seeing from their team.
Nice spin move into the lane by Vaughn. Comes up empty. Ahead to Ruddle. Reach by Vaughn. Johnson goes baseline. Look out. Off the glass. Won't fall.
A little too strong.
Molesky with the rebound. Oh, contact with Roscoe. Roscoe took a blow to the face. That's his second. So now you've got Johnson and Roscoe playing with 2 fouls each.
Yeah, that's an important one, too, because Roscoe was a Defensive Player of the Year in the Midwest region, and he provides that spark on the defensive end. He looks to Coach Bialek and says, I'm good, just leave me in. But Coach Bialek knows what a big game this is, and he can't risk that 3rd foul with him, so he's going to pull him out and let him sit.
Bialek and Wirtz both will come out. Sutherland comes in, and A.J. Rogers checks back in.
Nighthawks have struggled at the free throw line here recently.
They missed the front end of that one. Molesky's first trip to the line. Ruddle saves the ball. 3 ball left side. Good for Noah Shook. He's got back-to-back 3s.
Well, you start getting that, adding that to the formula for Indianapolis. You can see why with Johnson and Ruddle, they are just so hard to keep off of the scoreboard.
Nice step through by Justin Morgan to save the possession.
Shoemaker thought about it.
Vaughn. Sutherland all over him. Gets past Sutherland.
Too strong.
Little tap at it. Should go to the Wildcats and does.
Seen a couple times where Memphis has been able to get to the rack, but they just aren't able to finesse the ball in. A little bit too much momentum. And if they can convert on those, it's going to be a much closer game. But again, that's sometimes where just the presence of Johnson and some of the big players on the Wildcats can be in your mind when you take those shots.
Another 3, a little short for Shook. Wildcats trail by 8 at the start of the second quarter. They lead by 6 with 2:40 to go. First half.
Nighthawks seem to have been stuck at this 16-point for quite a while here.
They haven't scored in the second quarter. Quite a drought.
And not horrible shots, but just not taking their time on their shots.
There you go. Garrett Yates has 2, and he'll shoot 1 more.
Coach Williams has to like the way that his team, that's been happened on numerous occasions today where they'll miss the initial shot, but either they'll grab their own rebound or one of their teammates will and give them another opportunity.
Completes the 3-point play, and that extends the lead, or cuts the lead to 22-19.
Yeah, that stopped the bleeding a little bit. They had, as you mentioned, hadn't scored in this quarter and were really struggling mightily, but maybe that'll get their offensive flow back in sync.
They're still alive. Deep 3 from Johnson. Hit his first shot from about there to start the ball game. Vaughn with the rebound. He's going to go all the way with the left hand and score.
And we mentioned they've been able to get to the rack. They just hadn't finished. And that time, the left-handed layup made a Made it right in there, and they are cutting that lead to 1.
Johnson will get the one to roll. His shot to roll. 9 points for Miles Johnson, playing with 2 fouls. As you mentioned, Coach Bialek rolling the dice, leaving him in there.
And this is a time in the quarter where you really don't want to pick up a cheap foul if you're Johnson. Got to be careful on the defensive end. Don't want to give up easy buckets, but at the same time, be aware of your foul trouble.
Vaughn with the drive. Rogers reaches in, knocks it loose, and they're going to say the ball was kicked out of bounds.
He was being harassed by Shook the entire time, and then when he thought he got away from him, there was Rogers to come in on the attack. And you see Coach Bialek pulling out Johnson, as we talked about. This is sometimes a dangerous period. This is where you sometimes mentally can relax a little, and then you make a dumb foul and look up and you got 3.
Shoemaker hands off to Morgan. Morgan will back it up as we approach a minute to play. First half. Boys 18U D1 Final 4. One to play tomorrow morning at Evangel for the national championship. Lob too far for Shoemaker, back to the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was a good idea, and it actually was open, but he just led his player too much on the pass and floated it out of bounds.
Appreciate everybody watching on YouTube right now. Quite a few of you out there enjoying this ball game. Wildcats trail. They lead now by 3, approaching the end of the first half. Wirtz hands back to Ruddle for a 3. Got it.
Beautiful play. Ruddle knew when he gave that up initially he was going to set up right behind the screen and drop that 3-pointer.
That's 8 for Luke Ruddle.
Boy, Rogers, he is non-stop on the defensive end.
Vaughn, corner 3 for Morgan. No. Tapped out of bounds by Wirtz. This one will stay with the Nighthawks. And Indianapolis doesn't like it, but that was the right call.
Yeah, they've done a great job on the defensive end, but that time the Hawks just kind of being deliberate, looking for a shot. They've had some open looks, haven't been able to convert. They really started out hot from outside.
Almost to backcourt. Rogers, great hustle.
Yeah. And they're going to call it over and back.
Wow. 20.7. What do you do here, Scott? Do you get one quick, try and get another one, or do you run the clock out here and get one last shot?
Well, because there's no shot clock, I would say not take a quick one, but I knew as soon as I said that they would.
Yep. But we're going to get another crack at it here. Ruddle.
Now they're going to slow it down a bit. No need to rush. Try to finish this with a good shot and build that lead from 6 to even more.
Oh, they had. Ruddle will get a shot here at the buzzer. Got it!
Oh, how did he hit that falling to the floor? That was huge.
Well, that was just almost disaster because they tried to go underneath. Pass batted around. He ends up with it in the corner. He'll finish the half with 11 points. And the Wildcats, after trailing, I think, by 9 in the first quarter, they trailed 16-8 at the break. They lead at 30-21 here at halftime. We'll take a break and be back with the second half here on YouTube.
As a young girl playing tennis, I always dreamed of winning an Olympic gold medal for Puerto Rico. Entering the 2016 Rio Games, I was ranked 34th in the world. People said I had no chance to win the gold medal. The odds were against me. No woman representing Puerto Rico had ever won Olympic medals of any kind, and no woman or man had ever claimed gold for Puerto Rico. They said just to be an Olympian was good enough, that the competition was too good, that I should treat this as a building block for my career. They said go to Rio and just enjoy the experience. Well, I did. Yes, I can. And with real-time pain relief, so can you. Real-Time Max is Real-Time's most powerful lotion. Real-Time Max delivers fast pain relief to persistent, intense pain, including deep muscle pain, cramps, and over 100 types of arthritis. Loaded with peppermint, Real-Time Max provides a powerful burst of fast, minty pain relief.
I tell you what, we've got some drums behind us now. If they keep beating those things, I may end up with a concussion of sorts.
Yeah, I think that it was probably a good move for them to move further up away from the broadcast booth. I know during the week we've had some mightily loud buckets.
Early, they go to Johnson inside. And Johnson has 9 in the first half. He's got 11 now. And right out of the gates, got to extend that lead to 11.
Boy, once he seals his defender inside like that, you're helpless.
Hard pressed to recover. Nighthawks. Backdoor cut, can't get it to him. Good defense. 3 ball is off the mark. Rebound by Yates, up and in.
Yates has been strong down there.
Yates has got 5 now.
He's 6'4". I mean, he can contest with the 6'5" Johnson.
Who shoots a 3. A little wide left.
You know, sometimes as a coach, the worst thing that can happen to one of your players is they hit their first shot outside because they think they can hit them all.
They want to keep shooting. Vaughn with 2 more. He's got 12. 7-point lead for the Wildcats. Shook, who hit 2 threes. Wirtz had 1 of his own. He's got 2 now. 6 points from Mitchell Wirtz.
Already had a quicker start this half than they did the first half, and for the Nighthawks, that's not a good sign because they grabbed the lead early. And right now, it's Indianapolis with all the momentum.
I'm sure that was a point of emphasis from Coach Bialek at halftime. Let's get out and get to a fast start. Take command early. Oh, contact there at half court. Jake Roscoe took quite a blow from Jared Vaughn.
Yeah, he's the defensive player of the year, and he was trying to draw a cheap foul there, but I believe that's his 3rd.
You got it. First team of the second half, 3 on Jake Roscoe.
That was a violent collision. Talk about concussions. That would have brain rattle there.
Little chess match here. Which way you going to go? Around the horn goes Molesky. 3 ball for Justin Morgan.
Morgan's got a sweet stroke from outside. He's hit a few of those today.
That's his 3rd.
He's a weapon outside. They need to go to him more.
Johnson seals again. Gets his 13th point. Back to 9.
Once he gets a head of steam behind him, you got to be a man to step in front of that. You're going to get run over.
I'm glad I chose a career as a broadcaster.
Yeah, I like where we are up here. Our vantage point is way better.
3 ball for Vaughn on the mark. 15 for Jared Vaughn.
You look up at the scoreboard and the Nighthawks trying to answer now. Just cut it to 6 and another chance to cut into that lead.
Shook misses a 3. He had 2 in the first half. Great pass underneath to Luke Shoemaker. And that's Luke's first 2 points.
Wow, they got to get him involved. And a timeout by Bialek. Good timeout there. Memphis unfazed. That quick start by Indianapolis this half. But Memphis has steadied the course, and they have cut that lead to 4, and now they've got the momentum. The game swings.
Coach Bialek uses his 2nd full. He's got 1 full and 2 30s left. Coach Williams has used a 30. So you pointed it out, Scott, that this is a much faster start for the Wildcats, but the Nighthawks aren't giving up any ground. They pulled back to within 4.
Yeah, Memphis was in a close game yesterday with HCYA, and really the second half they just kind of wrestled away control of that game and were able to run away and win it by 7. But right now, this is important territory for Indianapolis because we haven't talked about it as much recently, but you've got your defender Roscoe. He's got 3 fouls. You've got Johnson with 2 fouls. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you've also got Ruddle that's getting into some trouble there. And so if you're Memphis, you want to keep attacking, keep looking for opportunities to cut into the lead, but also to get them in foul trouble. If you can change that personnel just a little bit, it can make a huge difference on the offensive end on who you're going against.
Old school basketball, if we knew somebody had 3 fouls, we'd go at them and try and get a 4th and a 5th. Is that still a thing?
You know, I guess it more depends on your coach. I know that sometimes coaches will be aware of that and attack, and then others say, well, we're just going to stay in our offensive set, and if a foul happens, it happens. But you definitely, if you're on the Nighthawks, need to be aware that that is a part of the game now in the equation for you.
Nighthawks trail by 4. They've got the basketball. They create the turnover from the Wildcats on that last set. Vaughn kicks it to the corner. Driving baseline. Back to Yates. Up top for a 3. Johnson with a rebound.
that set never looked completely in a flow. The ball was kind of loose. They couldn't really hang on to it and couldn't put it down.
Roscoe for 3. Vaughn did a good job taking the rebound away from Johnson.
Yeah, he will challenge Johnson down low.
Great drive. Going to come up a little short, out of bounds, back to the Wildcats.
Yates was in position for the putback, but he lost the ball off his fingertips.
Ruddle will take his time. His team leads by 4. He'll hand off to Roscoe. Screen from Johnson. Roll. 3-ball for Wirtz from the right side. 3 threes for the big man.
It's an unconventional 3. It's over his head. It has a little bit of a herky-jerky motion, but, man, he's been spot on today.
He's been spot on the whole tournament. First time he shot, I thought, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it was nothing but net. I'm like, okay, I kind of like that.
Yeah, whatever goes. You have some coaches that are like, you need to shoot this way, and then there's others. It's like, you know what, let's not fix that. It works.
Yep. On the block, Shoemaker kicks it back out instead.
Wirtz that time got a hand on the ball and forced him to pass the ball outside.
Yates cut through. They could have gone to him. Deep 3. Oh, boy. Justin Morgan with his 4th 3.
Well, he leaned right into that. He's hit a couple of those where you think he's maybe a step out from where he should be, but then he kind of leans forward as he shoots, and just a beautiful shot.
40-36. We'll take a quick break, come back. You're watching Boys 18 semifinal action here at Willard High School on Feature Channel 1 on YouTube.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I train for something that should be impossible. When 8 seconds can change your whole life, it's not really about the seconds, it's about the hours. The hours that I spend preparing mentally and physically. It's about being the last one to quit, no matter how bad you hurt. If you dream of winning, you better be ready to earn it. Yes, you can.
Third quarter, 3:42 to go. Scott Staten, Steve Larchin here at Willard High School. Feature Court 1. If you haven't subscribed yet, you need to. Why? Well, because today and tomorrow, the championship games, as Johnson picks up 2 more, are going to be here on Feature Channel 1. Go to nchclive.com, subscribe there, and you can watch all the action, and you can rewatch it. Everything archived. So tell your friends, subscribe. 3-ball again for Morgan. This one's short. Good rebound, put back attempt by Shoemaker.
Almost knocked in by Johnson.
A third opportunity here. Steal by Ruddle. Right place, right time.
Ooh, lost control. That might have come off of his hand, but the official was behind the play and says it will stay with the Wildcats. Yeah, Steve, you mentioned being able to go back and watch the archives. It's a great help for us because we're at one site during the day, and when we prepare for the next day's games, I was able last night to watch a couple of these teams that I hadn't seen yet this week and see what kind of game they had and personnel.
Roscoe's 3 is well short. Johnson with a rebound. He's fouled and will shoot here.
Also number 13.
He had great perspective to see that ball was going to be over the rim and was just able to step back into the defender, grab the board, and then draw the foul.
We had a young man last night that had 8 threes in the ball game. Were you with me last night for that one, or was that?
I was not with you, but I was listening. And
38 points he finished with.
Yeah, that's another way it's been great. I put it on the Bluetooth on my car and don't watch it, of course, because I'm driving, but I can listen like it's a radio station. And I was like, holy cow, 3 after 3 after 3.
Mike Urbick finished with 38 points. I appreciated him stopping there because I only had 39 slots on my score sheet.
Exactly.
Nice of him. Nice shot by Drew Kinsler, his first 2 points in the game.
Yeah, they broke that press there. It was a little loose press by the Wildcats, but Memphis with no trouble.
Johnson will dish to Roscoe for three, off the rim. Rebound by Morgan.
His own
popped in the
teammate.
face.
It looked like his own teammate hit him in the face trying to get the ball, and he came down and almost had it taken away or tied up.
Give him a chance to recover here.
That'll be one they talk about later.
What'd you do to me?
Yeah, why?
Crowd went really quiet there for a moment. They'll get it revved back up here. Kaiser, right wing. Morgan, who's hit four threes, excuse me. Jamison Stone, who's got 2 fouls. Rogers all over Shoemaker over there.
Wildcats ramping up the defense a little here.
Rogers is just tenacious on defense. Good roll by Shoemaker. He's got 4 now. Cuts the lead to 4.
That's an instance where when the other team is being aggressive on defense, they're kind of overextending. You can take advantage, find the cutter inside.
Sutherland for 3. Foul on the floor. It's going to stay here on this end.
Yeah, Johnson had the inside position to be able to get that rebound, and it looked like it might have been Jamison Stone that was diving for the ball and went straight into him.
That's his 3rd.
Oh, wow. Foul trouble for Memphis now.
Shook checks in for Sutherland.
Coach Bialek had to hold his breath there a little because Johnson was involved in that. But instead on the opposing player's 3rd foul.
I was watching the official to see which way he was pointing on the possession because I thought the same thing. Did Johnson just pick up his 4th? Approaching 90 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Boys 18U, Final 4 matchup here. Winner plays tomorrow morning at Evangel for the Undisputed Championship.
Good challenge by Shoemaker to knock the ball loose.
Johnson in the lane. Rogers will miss. Look at Johnson battle for that rebound.
He made a great interior pass there. And wasn't able to be finished by Rogers, but, well, that was a nice look. He's going to get double teamed in that lane, and so he's got to be ready with those passes.
2 team fouls on Memphis, 1 on Indianapolis. We are approaching 1 minute left here in the 3rd, so we'll call game. Johnson with the block. My goodness.
That's got to be a scary thing. You go in, you think, oh, I've got an open look here, but he could tell there was a presence behind him somewhere. He just didn't see him and just came flying out of nowhere, and Johnson rejects the shot.
Make you think twice about shooting the next time. Or at least wonder if he's behind you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indianapolis foul on number 45, Mitchell Wirtz.
Wirtz picks up his 2nd.
Team 2nd.
Didn't really see what happened there. Just a
I
little bit of
didn't
contact inside.
Memphis with a chance to cut into the lead, and they won't. It'll be Shook who picks up the loose ball and scores.
Unforced mistake, and great attempt to try to block that. Smacked the backboard, and the rim was rattling, but able to drop it down and build the lead to 6.
Shook has got 8. Kaiser to Shoemaker. Keeps his back to the basket. They try and roll a pass to Vaughn. And
that's a kick.
Caleb Nephew will check in along with Garrett Yates.
Also into the game for
On the Memphis side, Jake Roscoe will give Ruddle a little breather.
You want to win these last 38 seconds here.
Isn't that amazing how every second counts? You
Absolutely.
Can't take any of it off or for granted.
We saw that in the last game.
Yep. Double overtime win. 3 ball off the mark. Johnson with a rebound. 25 seconds to get 2 or 3 more. He'll pull it back out. Avoids the double team. Loses the handle. And the Nighthawks will try for the last shot here.
Settle down. Set up.
Justin Morgan to Vaughn. Up top, that's Jamison Stone. 3 ball from the corner for Caleb Nephew. His first shot won't fall.
Rushed it just a little bit there.
And at the end of 3, it is the Wildcats 46. They build on their halftime lead of 30-21. 4th quarter coming up here from Feature Court 1 on YouTube.
I used to think that living with aches and pains was just going to be part of my life. But now, I have a secret weapon. Real-time pain relief cream. I just rub it in and the pain is gone. It smells great, doesn't burn my skin, but don't take my word for it. You can try it yourself for just $1. Order yours now at tvpainrelief.com. Again, that's tvpainrelief.com. Real-time pain relief. It will be $1 well spent.
Final 8 minutes of this first boys 18 Final Four matchup. We've got one more for you tonight. It'll be the nightcap featuring the Crew and the OKC Storm. Coming up next, the girls 18U Undisputed National Championship game. Scott State and Paul Gilmore will have that one for you. The MHEA Eagles taking on the Dallas Thunder in what should be a really good matchup.
Yeah, it should, and MHEA just never ceases to amaze. Right back where they always are in the Undisputed Championship game.
Nighthawks need to get some points here and get something going. Wildcats want to hold on to 6 and build. 3 ball. Justin Morgan again. That's his 5th.
The way he shoots, he's able to create a little bit of space, and even though Johnson was in his face there, just dropped another.
46-43. 6-point lead cut in half with 1 stroke.
That's how you want to start this quarter if you were Memphis.
Johnson tries to kick out, travels. Some contact in there, but he traveled, and that's the right call.
Absolutely, and if you're Coach Bialik, you'll live with that travel because it looked to me like he instigated the contact and could have been called for a charge.
2 team fouls apiece, so something's going to have to change for fouls to be an issue team-wise and free throws be a factor here in this ball game.
Yeah, Johnson can't get frustrated when he can't get open. Just kick it back out, reset, seal your man.
Vaughn will drive, working against Ruddle. And Johnson got to be careful on defense as well. Doesn't want to pick up a cheap one. Justin Morgan beats you from the 3, and then he drives on Johnson and gets 2 more.
Yeah, he started in the corner, ran all the way around the top of the key, and ended up down by the elbow to get those 2 points. He's making Johnson work on defense.
Well, I wonder if he knows or if he thinks about, here's a steal by Vaughn. The other way, they can take the lead here, and they do.
Wow.
Justin Vaughn with 17 points, and that gives the Nighthawks back the lead.
Boy, they have found their groove at the right time of year.
3 ball for Shook, no good. Ruddle into the lane, tries to kick it out. Another 3 ball for Roscoe, no. Ruddle on the floor. Johnson going to be careful and try and create a jump ball.
Timeout, Nighthawks.
Nighthawks had possession, they call timeout.
Johnson asking it why there wasn't a travel there, as it looked like the Memphis player might have slid a little with the ball, but you know, sometimes you got to look at that and just say, you need to be the one on the floor. You know, that you got to dive for these. This is a 1-point game, and you got to like the Nighthawks, the way that they have the passion for the game. Or not that Johnson didn't, but sometimes I think the officials, whether they realize it or not, will see a hustle play, and they also respect that. And I don't think it was enough to call a travel, and he quickly called a timeout there. But a heads-up play by the Nighthawks. And Steve, I don't know about you, but it's kind of deceptive. It looked up, and it felt like the Wildcats going into from the half had control of this game. They came out strong, and all of a sudden you look up, and the Nighthawks have hit a shot here, get a stop there, and they are suddenly in the lead.
Well, I want to go back to that drive by Morgan. And again, we don't know what's in these players' minds, but Morgan was working on Johnson. And the fact that Johnson's got 2 fouls, try not to pick up that 3rd. Of course, we're in the 4th now as they go to the floor. Johnson with the basketball, but how much of that is in his mind? Hey, I'm working against Johnson.
Right.
I can try and get him to foul me here as Johnson spins, shot short. Rebound by Jared Vaughn.
That was set up by Roscoe, who is, like we said several times, Defensive Player of the Year. You could see why he changes the game. You've got to be aware of where he is on the court at all times.
Vaughn with a great drive. He's got 19. Now a 3-point lead for the Nighthawks. Roscoe with a floater in the lane.
Oh.
That's his first 2 points.
He's a gritty little player. He affects the game even without scoring points, but it's also a great side of his arsenal to be able to drive the lane there and trim that 2 points off that lead. Rogers
will back Morgan up. slowly creep in, reaches a hand out. Morgan sets him up, takes him left. Hand off to Vaughn, into the lane. Scoop shot too hard, gets his own rebound. Double teamed on the block, tries to dribble out of it, which is probably not a good thing.
Yep, should have passed it outside.
Ruddle to Johnson. I thought he was going to go straight up.
I did too. He thought about it.
Johnson with his back to the basket. Ruddle will reset. 3 ball for Ruddle.
Looked good, but not necessarily the shot you want in that situation. It's been on this end, Morgan and Vaughn, they have really been a dynamic duo here as he stands over by the, looks like the bat signal. These guys have done quite the job. And then a 5-second call.
Nice job defensively by Mr. Ruddle. I was just about to ask the question, do you think the Wildcats are a little fatigued here?
Yeah.
Is that part of what we're seeing? But that defensive effort there by Ruddle, nah.
Yeah, Ruddle there took advantage where the kind of almost baited the Nighthawks player into a challenge, and rather than being aware of the clock, he took the challenge and got the 5-second call.
Ruddle works off a screen from Johnson. Johnson rolls.
Almost stolen.
Wirtz doing a good job to keep the possession alive. Hand off to Roscoe. Fakes left, goes right. Contact foul, just a third team foul for Memphis.
Morgan is active on both ends of the court. It looks like Vaughn's going to get a little rest here. He's really expended a lot of energy this quarter on this run where his team has taken the lead. The game has slowed down quite a bit too, Steve.
Well, that's why I brought up the fatigue issue. The tempo has really changed.
Yep, these coaches are aware if their players are coming over and they're talking about their legs or being tired, and sometimes you got to alter your game plan. They started out like they were going to be from Indianapolis in the 500, but now slowed down kind of more like a sedan, a family kind of speed to be able to keep the game in a slower, lower pace.
1 point lead for the Nighthawks. Johnson into the paint. Dangerous place for him to be. Gets his own rebound. Forces a second shot up.
Johnson!
Yep.
And he puts the Wildcats back up by 1.
That's sheer will. When the shot is not falling, just keep going. Just keep trying. And is able to get 2 attempts there and put in the second one.
18 points for Miles Johnson. Travel call.
Yeah, he dragged his foot.
Justin Morgan, 8 points in the first half. 19 points total. Travel there turns it back over to the Wildcats, who have a chance to build on a 1 point lead.
Memphis is almost exclusively on the offensive end gone to Vaughn and to Morgan. They're going to have to try to get some other players involved and maybe open up some shots for those two as they've been hot this half.
Johnson sets a screen. Takeaway by Vaughn.
Just came in off of the bench.
Through 2 Wildcats. Offensive foul.
Yep, that's one of those cases. If he was in college or the NBA, I think the defender was too far under the basket, but they don't have that in high school, and was able to draw the charge.
I know he got the foul called on him, but I like the fact that he went right at those 2 defenders.
Yep. Yeah, you got to try to create something.
This game attracting a lot of interest around the country. About 150 of you watching right now. We appreciate that.
Well, if you've been tuning in all day, you've seen some great games and more coming.
Ruddle saves the possession.
Molesky with fantastic effort there. Almost came away with the steal. 2.5 minutes to go in this 1 point game.
Johnson getting pestered a little bit. We're going to have a foul.
Foul number 32,
Garrett Yates picks up his first.
Yeah, and he claps, and obviously he's not happy that he got a foul, but I think it's more just trying to fire his team up like we've got to get up in their face. Nothing easy, guys.
Well, he psyched me out because I thought I was going to go the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I was going to say the foul was on him, but I thought maybe I missed something.
Quick double team.
Wirtz, another 3. A little too strong.
Well, they gambled there because Wirtz has connected on several of those today, and they double teamed Johnson at the top of the free throw lane, but that time Wirtz could not get the football to drop.
We're coming up on 2 minutes, just a 1 point game here. Don't blink, you might miss something great here down the stretch.
Already had a double overtime game right before this one. Let's see what happens here.
Shoemaker Garrett Yates. Vaughn will get a touch here. Well, what a half he's had. He's played really well here.
Going to work the ball around, be very deliberate. They're only down 1. Don't have to have any kind of a shot yet.
Oh, backdoor cut for Morgan. Has it stripped from behind by Roscoe. Out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wildcat, or with the Nighthawks.
Roscoe's I mean this in a good way. He's a pest on defense.
I was going to say pesky.
Yeah, it's close. He's always looking for the steals.
Backdoor cut for Morgan. Pass tapped out of bounds.
Shook that time. Got the hand on the ball to knock it out. Memphis had a cutter there. Looks like they're looking for that backdoor cut. They try to pull out the defenders a little towards the perimeter, and then they have somebody slash towards the basket.
Under 90 seconds to go here. 18U, Final Four, playing for a berth to the national championship game tomorrow. 3-ball on the way for Morgan. No.
Yeah, that's been his shot, but that time just a little too rushed. Couldn't get it to fall, and with 1:17 to go, trailing by 1. Gutsy move, like that Coach Williams was looking for to get the ball in the hands of one of his hot players. We've seen Morgan connect on several of those today, but not that time.
We've got a Nighthawk mom over here, and she went straight up when he pulled the trigger on that, thinking it was going to go down.
Yeah.
They're passionate here inside the building. Doesn't matter which side you're rooting for.
Really starting to fill up, too.
You want to go to the final undisputed championship game tomorrow. Johnson thought he might take off on a drive. Ruddle to Wirtz. Back to Ruddle, under a minute to play. Be patient here. Get something good. Johnson with a drive. Off the glass, no good.
Too strong.
Nighthawks chance to take the lead with 40 to play. Ball tapped out of bounds. It'll stay with Memphis.
Vaughn with the spin move to keep the ball moving up court, but Johnson came by him and the back tap, be able to kick it out of bounds, let his defense reset. 39.7 seconds to go. Neither team in the bonus. Wildcats only committed 2 fouls so far, so if they do have to stop the clock, it's going to be tough to put them on the foul line if the Nighthawks were able to grab the lead here.
They go up top to Shoemaker. Molesky guarded by Roscoe. 3-ball for Shoemaker. In! 52 to 50. Shoemaker.
That's a case of not stopping. He hadn't been able to connect much today, but that time he was right on line. 2-point lead for the Nighthawks.
Shoemaker with 7. That was epic.
You know, if you're the Wildcats, you were very aware that you had players like Morgan and Vaughn who could hit that outside shot, but just when you least expect it, Shoemaker shows he's got the ability to step out and pop that 3, and the 6'5" freshman able to make a huge shot for his team and give them the lead. They were trailing by 1, but now they are in the driver's seat with 16.5 seconds to go.
When Shoemaker hit his first field goal in the second half, you made the comment, he's got to get more involved. He hit another field goal in that moment right there. A freshman?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that great when you see players who aren't afraid in clutch situations? They want the ball.
Wow.
And it would have been easy to defer to some of the older players on this team.
Yeah.
But not that time. He stepped right out and took the shot. They've got a bright future. I mean, Morgan is a freshman as well. Vaughn is just a sophomore, so we're going to see this team around for a while.
Well, here's the fun part of this. 16.5, that's plenty of time when you've got Shook, Roscoe, Ruddle, Johnson, and Wirtz on the floor. I'm assuming that's who's going to come out. Any one of those guys can get open and hit a 2 to tie it up.
Yep.
But you've got Wirtz who's hit 3 threes, Shook's hit 2, Ruddle's hit 2.
Yep.
So you don't know where it's going to come from.
Lots of options here. Memphis has 1 foul to give if they decide to do so.
They double team Johnson. Drive on the floor. Shot block for Roscoe. And the Nighthawks get the rebound. Wow.
Morgan on the block. It was interesting. Roscoe faked the 3 and then drove. Had a brief bit of daylight to be able to put it in, but great recovery by the Nighthawks. And actually, Morgan's limping just a bit after he blocked that shot.
Checking into the game, number 15.
Just 3 fouls for the Wildcats, and with 10 seconds to go, even intentional fouls, they may not have enough time to even put the Nighthawks on the free throw line, so they've got to have a steal here.
They get it into Vaughn. He's quickly fouled in the corner. 9.1 left.
It's going to take 3 more fouls, and then even if they just take a second on each one. It's going to be probably 5 to 6 seconds that are going to be left.
And then the free throws, and you got to go 90 feet.
Look for them to try to cut into the passing lane and get a steal here. Take some gambles, almost.
Ruddle. The official puts his hands up. He's not sure. It's going to stay with the Wildcats. Oh, my.
That was a dangerous foul. I'll tell you what I like there, too. I don't know if you saw, but Vaughn came up and shook his head. Yes, that was the right call. Even though he wanted to have the ball, he said it went off of me.
I did not see that. The baseline official couldn't tell. He went to the sideline official. I don't know. What'd you see? And the official had to make a call.
Yep. And there's some officials sitting over on the opposite side scores table. Of course, razzing their compatriots there, but that was the right thing. When you don't see it, it's such a crucial part of the game. He looks up, and I got help from the other officials. And like I said, what a classy move by Vaughn. He waited, of course, until the official made the call, but then he told his teammates, yeah, it was off of us.
That's class.
And that's the work. That was the only thing the Wildcats could do to get the ball back at that point, because they don't have enough fouls.
Previous games like this, it's been Johnson getting a lob in the paint to try and get an easy bucket. We'll see what they do here.
Yeah, it looks like he's circling around to try to do that.
7 to play. Ruddle trying to go inside to Johnson with 3. Forces up a 3 ball. No. At the buzzer. Swatted away by Vaughn.
But we've got a foul called.
Oh, my goodness. With no time on the clock.
Yep. I think the official had to call that. We don't have the ability to go back on replay. But on that offside rebound, looked like it was Seth Sutherland. He pulled it down and he went up for the shot. And the official right there says that he was fouled by the Nighthawk defender. They'll get 2 shots now to tie it. Now, this is how yesterday the OKC Storm and Grand Rapids Angels game finished. The Angels were down 2. They get fouled on a three-point shot with no time left. They hit the first and missed the next 2, and that's how the OKC Storm advanced to today's other Final Four game.
Sutherland, no points in the game. No free throws attempted in the game. You're on the line, chance to tie it up. They put 0.3 of a second back on the clock. Got it. Oh, man.
Clutch.
Oh, man.
Are we headed for another overtime?
Timeout taken by Memphis.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Well, Sutherland, even though he hasn't scored, he's got experience. He's an 18-year-old. If you want somebody at the line, you know, in those instances, a lot of times you want the guys with a little more maturity, a little more age, and he's able to do that.
Mercy.
Wow. That was, you know, we've seen that. I've seen it personally a couple times where there's been comebacks in some games this week, and when you looked at a scenario, it was like they need everything to go right to be able to come back in this game. And that's exactly what happened with the Wildcats. They did not have enough time, really, to get the ball back. They only had 3 team fouls, and all they could get was a steal, and that's what they got. And then rushed shots, but on the offside rebound, the weak side, Sutherland was aware. He grabbed it, put the ball up, was fouled, and now a chance to tie it.
I'd love to know what Coach Bialik said in that huddle right there. 0.3 on the clock. Free throw to tie. Championship game on the line. Tie ball game.
As Bill Rafferty says, he's got onions.
Oh, my. That is amazing.
Wow, 52-52, back-to-back overtime games. We've got some great basketball that we've been able to see today.
You know, emotion, momentum is an amazing thing in a game like this, and you saw Memphis fight back. They've got a lead. Indianapolis ties it up with 0.3 of a second left.
Yep.
What does that do to Memphis going into overtime?
Well, this is where you see what you're made of, and when you look down the roster, Memphis has a lot of young players, freshmen, sophomores. This is where they're either going to be young enough to not know any better and say, who cares, let's just play, or, you know, that can really be a shot. That can be a sucker punch where you think we had it. We were that close, 0.3 of a second away from going to the undisputed. We'll see how they respond. The Wildcats on the other side definitely going to feel some momentum here.
When we started the fourth quarter, I believe there were 2 team fouls apiece. Right now the Nighthawks have 6. So Indianapolis will shoot free throws no matter what the rest of the way. Indianapolis has got 2 to give.
Yep. Yes, they do. And now what was something that was not what they wanted, just 10 seconds left in the game, now it's a good thing. They're not going to put the other team on the free throw line.
Johnson and Vaughn will jump it. We start all over with 4 minutes on the clock.
We might have to send Paul Gilmore down to ask Rob Flatt what time the first game is tomorrow morning, because with all these overtimes, we may need to push those back some.
Originally, I thought it was 10. Then I heard Collins say 10:30, so I'm not even sure for real what it's supposed to be. We'll have to find out. Johnson triple teamed. Shot falls. Holy cow.
He forced that one. I'm sure that his coaches and fans were like, no, great shot.
Man.
He shot that over 3 players.
Wildcat faithful across the way, chanting defense. Nighthawk fans trying to counter.
Boy, they switched roles.
Yeah, they
did. It was
did.
loud on this side, totally silent on the opposite side. And now, after that 0.3 of a second comeback, it's the Wildcats making all the noise.
Vaughn goes off his face back into the hands of Yates.
Johnson almost got the foul on the reach in there.
Pull-up jumper for Morgan. No. Johnson with a rebound.
Great challenge on the defensive end. He got a hand in his face.
Foul by Yates here. We're going to send Johnson to the line. Miles Johnson has shot 6. He's made 3 free throws thus far.
This team in the lead by 2. They really need him to hit both, because that changes it from a 2-possession game to a 1-possession game if he only sinks 1 here. And with only 2:51 left in this overtime extra frame, every possession you got to treat like gold.
First one goes down, making it a 3-point game. Second one short, just barely catches the rim.
He's got all their points. Actually, all the points for either team in this extra frame.
But we've got 2:40 to go. I bet there's more drama coming.
Nighthawks trying to work the ball around. You can see they're trying to get the ball to Vaughn and Morgan. Great defense, and had to call a timeout.
Molesky picked up his dribble. Wrong thing to. Well, he did, and then he was surrounded and nobody to go to.
I was wondering if they were going to call a 5-second there.
Yeah. Well, it was close. That's why he called the timeout.
Yeah, that was one of those instances where you don't want to pick up your dribble, but he thought he had an opening there. He's trying to do some cuts on the outside and try to peel off the defender with Morgan and with Vaughn, but unable to do so.
Help me walk back through this game. The Wildcats, for the first time that we've covered them, were behind, I think, by as many as 9 in the first quarter.
Right.
At the end of the first quarter, it was 16-8 in favor of the Nighthawks. At the end of the first half, it was 30-21. I may have reversed that. The Nighthawks have the lead at half?
No, I think
Wildcats came back and they had the lead 30-21.
Yep.
It was 46-40 at the end of the third. Wildcats with the lead, tied at 52 at the end of regulation.
Right. The Nighthawks took the fourth quarter, and really it was several clutch shots. We saw really that by Vaughn and by Morgan, and then of course Shoemaker, who sunk the 3 that gave them the lead that we thought would win the game. But what an incredible comeback by Indianapolis.
What do we know?
2.5 minutes here. If you're Memphis, you don't have to have a 3 here. A 2 is fine. That'd cut the lead to 1, and then you just got to get a stop at the other end.
We'll keep an eye on Morgan, see if he curls somewhere and ends up with a decent look. He's over here on the right wing. Shoemaker flashes. Vaughn spins and gets the bucket to drop.
That was good defense, too. The Wildcat player was trying to respect the outside shot, and then he just made a great drive and spin.
21 for Vaughn. Another 3 try for Wirtz. Great rebound by Sutherland.
Almost threw it to him as he was coming back off the timeline there and had a turnover.
Wirtz all alone back here.
You're okay with that shot. Wirtz was lined up. He was open.
You bet. Well, he's hit 3 of them in the ball game.
Good recognition by Johnson not to force a shot there.
Ruddle will reset as we approach 90 seconds to play. Good defense by Molesky.
Yep, good hands. He took advantage while Ruddle was trying to figure out a way to get the ball to Johnson. He was able to just reach up and swipe the ball loose. Too strong to be able to recover it, but still able to cause them to get an out-of-bounds play.
Johnson with 1 point lead, with a 1 point lead. Dribbles in the front court.
Double team, almost came away with the steal.
I like the try. They get the trap at half court, and a timeout taken by Coach Bialik.
Yeah, that time it looked like, I'm not sure if they had a signal or what it was, but that Coach Williams had told them at some point to go out and start double teaming, and you saw Molesky shoot up from the three-point line and try to trap the Wildcats, and even though it was Ruddle, he's a good ball handler, Indianapolis had to call a timeout there. So with 1:11 to go, you're just up one if you're Indianapolis. I expect them to do kind of what they've been doing. They want the ball in the hands of Ruddle and Johnson. If you can try to create something, do it, but don't force anything. If you're on the Nighthawks side, you know you have the ability to score. We just saw a great drive and a spin move in the lane by Vaughn, but right now the problem is you either decide, are you going to at some point foul and put the Wildcats on the free throw line? At that point, you hope that you have some information that will let you know some players you'd want to foul. And if you've been watching this game, we know that not everyone on the Wildcats has been 100%. And so
no. Rogers is 1 for 4. He's not even in the game. Johnson and Sutherland, the only two that have shot free throws. Sutherland's hit 2. Johnson's missed. He's about 60-70% from what he shot.
Yeah, and 1 out of 2 the last time he shot. So maybe you gamble there.
I don't think you gamble. Put Johnson on the line. He's money.
And then he drives and rolls it in, and the Memphis player tried to set up for the block, but he was so far underneath that when Johnson came down, the official said it was a block.
First personal, 18 foul.
Johnson 4 of 8 before this free throw here. Make it 5 of 9.
And that one changes it where now the Nighthawks have to get the ball twice to be able to tie this up or take the lead.
24 points for Miles Johnson. Morgan, who's hit a few threes in this game, covered up. Vaughn into the lane. He's going to take the shot. No. Johnson with the rebound, and he's mauled. We have a jump ball call. Possession arrow favors the Nighthawks.
Yeah, that was a good job by Memphis to be able to attack Johnson and be able to get the ball without fouling. And they steal a possession back there. Got to believe Coach Williams told them the game reset that they would know exactly that if they could tie it up, they could get the ball back.
Shoemaker will get it back. Goes baseline, running, floater, no, but he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, Wirtz that time tried to recover, and once Shoemaker was in the air, he had the body contact, and so it'll put him on the free throw line. That's what you want if you're Memphis, be able to stop the clock, take some points off of the deficit.
For number 13, Luke Shoemaker.
Shoemaker, who hit the epic 3 from the corner, hits a free throw here.
Freshman's got a nice stroke at the line, 6'5", probably still going to grow some. You like to see that they can shoot and already have some of the guard skills as they continue to grow into their bodies.
Did he play up here last year?
I don't recall, but he's definitely made his presence known this year.
Another jump ball.
Oh, wow.
To the Wildcats.
Johnson is getting the boards, but both times he was tied up by Nighthawk players. That missed free throw, with 32 seconds to go, that could come back to haunt them.
He's still smiling. He and the official enjoying a nice moment there.
Dangerous pass.
25 to go, 3-point lead. They can hold, try and get to the free throw line.
Yeah,
foul on Vaughn.
Memphis definitely, you could tell their strategy there is they're going to have to foul, get back to get the ball back, and that's what they do. But now you put Ruddle on the free throw line, and he's usually pretty solid there.
For Indy, number 20, Luke Ruddle, 1-1.
Ruddle, money from the free throw line.
For the rest of the game, the Wildcats will be in the double bonus.
Ruddle had a free throw earlier, part of a 3-point play. Just his second trip to the line. Got that one too.
5-point lead. You're going to have a 3 now.
Gonna have to get there in a hurry.
They may not have to have the 3 on this possession, but one of the next 2 if they can get it back.
Well,
they have
somebody's got to shoot quick here. They're running out of time. Stolen by Ruddle.
Yep. Ruddle could see that play developing, and so he cut in front of the open player for Memphis and got the steal. And he can go down and convert on these free throws, which he'll get 2. That should seal the game.
Two free throws the rest of the way.
Boy, this will be a hard break for the Nighthawks and their fans. They had the game in hand, up by 2, and with 0.3 of a second left as the shot falls.
Wow.
They fouled Sutherland on the Wildcats, and he was able, the 18-year-old, to sink both free throws with all the pressure on him and to send it to overtime.
I don't want to go too far ahead here, but the Storm and the Crew later. Indianapolis has played the Crew 3 or 4 times this year.
Yep.
If it's 3 times, they beat them 2 out of 3. If it's 4, they beat them 3 out of 4.
Yep.
So what's the better championship game tomorrow?
You know what? You take what you can get. But now that shot didn't go, so they've got a shot to hit 2 threes. Got to have 2, though. 2 seconds left. Not enough time.
Congratulations, Coach Bialik and the Indianapolis Wildcats. You're going to the boys 18U Division I championship game tomorrow at Evangel University. We'll let you watch and enjoy.
The Memphis Nighthawks, 55.
Your final score, 61-55. Coming up next, the girls 18U Undisputed National Championship game. Scott Staten, Paul Gilmore will have that for you next. Scott, great job.
You too. Thanks, Steve.
We'll be back here at Willard High School in just a moment.